Looking for the cheapest places to retire in Florida in 2026? In this Florida retirement guide, we're exploring affordable Florida towns, low-cost retirement destinations, and hidden places where retirees can stretch their Social Security income further. The statewide median home price in Florida as of early 2026 is $394,000. In Miami, the median single-family home price is $650,000. In Naples, it reaches $900,000. That's before windstorm insurance, HOA fees, and property taxes that continue rising with market values each year. Florida remains one of the best states for retirement. There is no state income tax, no inheritance tax, and no estate tax. Residents can benefit from a constitutional homestead exemption that reduces taxable home value by up to $50,000 once permanent residency is established, along with a law that limits annual property assessment increases. Seniors aged 65 and older who meet income requirements, currently about $38,686 in adjusted gross income, may qualify for an additional county exemption that can reduce another $50,000 from taxable value. These benefits apply throughout the state. The challenge is that many people researching Florida retirement focus on coastal communities where living on a fixed income becomes difficult. Inland Florida, on the other hand, offers lower insurance costs, typically between $2,400 and $3,800 annually, compared to $4,000 to $5,800 along the coast, while also providing significantly lower home prices and the same valuable tax protections. Across the state, retirees are moving to 20 affordable towns right now. These communities feature lakes, rivers, and in some cases, Gulf Coast beaches just 30 minutes away without the expensive coastal price tag. Several also offer surprisingly strong healthcare facilities. Here are 20 cheap hidden rural Florida towns retirees are moving to in the 2026 edition. This video covers the first 10 towns, while the second and even more exciting part features the remaining 10 hidden Florida retirement gems, so be sure to subscribe and watch Part 2. Apalachicola. Most Gulf Coast towns have priced themselves out of fixed-income retirement. Apalachicola is the panhandle exception. It sits in Franklin County, and while technically coastal, its financial profile diverges sharply from Destin or Panama City Beach. The county median home price runs around $283,000, higher than the Big Bend towns farther east, but a completely different conversation from Southwest Florida's Gulf communities. The town's identity is built around fishing and seafood. The Florida Seafood Festival draws the whole community together annually around locally harvested oysters. The Maritime District has a functional, lived-in character that disappears quickly once tourist economies take hold, and Apalachicola has so far avoided that. George E. Weems. Memorial Hospital is a 25-bed critical access facility federally designated to guarantee 24-hour emergency care, laboratory diagnostics, outpatient radiology, and inpatient rehabilitation. Sacred Heart Medical Group supplements primary and urgent care locally. For a town of this size, that's a serious clinical foundation. Arcadia. Arcadia is the county seat of DeSoto County, and its geographic position is the entire argument for moving there. Port Charlotte and Fort Myers are close enough for a day trip. The property insurance costs, coastal tax rates, and HOA fees of those markets are not something Arcadia residents deal with. Like Washula, residential areas here largely sit in Flood Zone X. Low flood risk, no flood insurance requirement, and no association fees. Median home prices run around $240,000, and median rent sits at roughly $746 per month. a major Walmart distribution center in the area, helps stabilize retail pricing for everyday goods. Downtown Arcadia is an active antique and collectibles district set within preserved historic architecture. The town hosts rodeos and agricultural exhibitions regularly enough that they feel more like institutions than events. DeSoto Memorial Hospital handles acute care locally. The Community Care Family Health Care Center operates as a federally qualified outpatient clinic serving seniors. Chiefland. Chiefland is in Levy County, set slightly inland from the Gulf, and the cost of living figures here are specific: 22% below the Florida state average and 14% below the national average. The county median home price sits at $168,470. Two-bedroom rentals average around $974 per month. The town serves as a regional retail hub for surrounding rural counties, keeping daily goods prices affordable without requiring a longer drive. Manatee Springs State Park is the primary draw. A first-magnitude spring with year-round clear water, kayaking, and West Indian manatees wintering in the warm outflow. That kind of natural amenity typically commands a real estate premium when tourism infrastructure surrounds it. In Chiefland, where the median home price is still under $170,000, it doesn't. The Chiefland Health Center handles internal medicine, primary care, and urgent care walk-ins. The Palms Medical Group's federally qualified clinic rounds out geriatric and primary health care locally. Chiefland also sits near the Suwannee River, giving residents a second major natural waterway within easy reach alongside the springs. Two separate freshwater ecosystems accessible from a single affordable address. Clewiston. Clewiston sits on the southern shore of Lake Okeechobee in Hendry County. The nickname, America's Sweetest Town, is a direct reference to its century-long sugarcane heritage. U.S. sugar and Southern Garden citrus anchor the local economy. Local government is funded by industrial output rather than residential growth pressure. When a municipality doesn't need rapid housing expansion to balance its budget, property taxes stay stable. Median home prices sit under $190,000. The Lake Okeechobee Scenic Trail offers hiking along the lake's perimeter, freshwater fishing, and wildlife watching, providing water access and open space without the coastal premium attached. The clinical depth here is the standout. Hendry Regional Medical Center is a fully equipped critical access hospital with 24-hour emergency services, cardiology, and orthopedic surgery. Clewiston Nursing and Rehabilitation provides short-term and long-term care directly in the community. For a town at this price point, that's an unusually complete medical package. Cross City. Cross City is the county seat of Dixie County, and the county median closed home price is $95,240. Monthly mortgage payments at that price run around $540. That is among the lowest median closed home prices in the state of Florida. The economy runs on timber harvesting, commercial fishing, and outdoor recreation. The Lower Suwannee National Wildlife Refuge borders the town, offering hiking, bird watching, and river boating without an attached fee structure. Dixie County has long been known as one of Florida's premier hunting regions, with private clubs and state-managed wildlife areas preserving thousands of acres. Two-bedroom fair market rent sits at $1,156 per month. Primary medical access runs through Palms Medical Group and clinics in neighboring Chiefland. Cross City deserves an honest description. The commercial and dining infrastructure is minimal. Remote living here is the actual daily experience. For retirees managing a serious fixed-income budget who want maximum financial flexibility and maximum quiet, few markets in Florida deliver both as completely. Defuniak Springs. Defuniak Springs is 30 miles inland from Destin. That geographic fact is the key to understanding every retiree who chooses it. The Emerald Coast is among the most expensive coastal real estate markets in the Panhandle. Defuniak Springs residents drive there in 35 minutes for the beach, then return to inland insurance rates and inland tax assessments. The town itself centers on a perfectly round, spring-fed lake within a preserved Victorian-era downtown, a setting that would be unaffordable if it sat directly on the coast. The healthcare infrastructure is what genuinely distinguishes Defuniak Springs. North Walton Doctors Hospital performs same-day joint replacements. A 24-hour freestanding HCA emergency department operates independently with its own facility and staffing. Ascension Sacred Heart provides cardiology services. Assisted living in the area averages $3,125 per month. That clinical depth makes Defuniak Springs a regional medical hub, not just a quiet panhandle town with a beautiful lake. Dunalun. Marion County is Florida's equestrian capital, and that fact has a direct financial effect on Dunalun. The horse farming industry preserves enormous stretches of open space and creates a structural incentive against high-density residential development. When development pressure stays low, property values stay manageable. The county median home price runs around $267,000, higher than some towns on this list. But what that price includes is a landscape with economic reasons to stay uncrowded. The Rainbow River runs through Dunalun, spring-fed, crystal clear, and a consistent temperature year-round. Residents tube, kayak, and watch birds from the banks of KP Hole County Park. If that river sat 40 miles east near the coast, resort hotels would line both banks, and daily access would come with a fee. The equestrian economy also suppresses one of the most common cost creep factors in Florida retirement: high-density HOA communities. Large lot horse properties and open agricultural parcels dominate the county's land use, keeping the surrounding environment from filling in with the kind of planned subdivision infrastructure that brings monthly association fees along with it. The proximity to Ocala handles the medical equation. HCA, Florida Ocala Hospital, and Advent Health Ocala are both a short drive away, giving Dunalun access to a full urban medical district without paying to live inside one. Inverness. Inverness sits in the center of Citrus County, and the reason it works financially is the same reason most people haven't heard of it. It has never attracted the speculative pressure that inflates real estate in more visible markets. No tourist economy, no resort development. The town grows slowly, which keeps property tax rates controlled and utility costs predictable. Median home prices run between $180,000 and $235,000. Monthly utilities average between $180 and $220. The town centers on Lake Henderson. A paved riverwalk along its edge functions as the primary social artery. Walkers, bird watchers, residents sitting in the morning quiet. The Valerie Theater Cultural Center runs films, plays, and concerts year-round. Once annually, the town holds Cooterfest, a month-long arts and cultural festival that is exactly as local and endearing as it sounds. Primary care runs through the George A. Dame Community Health Center, so routine medical access doesn't require leaving town. Inverness isn't pretending to be more than it is, and for retirees who've spent decades somewhere louder and more expensive, that restraint is the whole point. Jasper. Jasper was incorporated in 1827. Hamilton County is sparsely populated and heavily rural, and the county median home price is $185,100. Monthly mortgage estimates run around $620. Combined with Florida's Save Our Homes cap, which limits annual property assessment growth to 3%. A retiree who purchases here locks in a payment structure that can't be upended by surrounding market appreciation. The Suwannee River defines the county's natural edge, and the recreational life here revolves around it. River paddling, hiking, and wildlife observation. There is no tourist-facing commercial infrastructure. What Jasper offers is solitude, open land, and river access at a price most of Florida can no longer come close to. The honest limitation is local acute care. Jasper has no major hospital within municipal limits, but HCA Florida Lake City Hospital is 28 miles south, and SGMC Health Main in Valdosta, Georgia, sits 31 miles north. Both are reachable in roughly 30 minutes. That's 2 hospital options within a half-hour drive, which is a workable medical reality for a county of Jasper's population. For retirees whose priorities are low monthly costs, privacy, and river access, Jasper delivers all 3. Lake City. Lake City sits at the intersection of Interstate 10 and Interstate 75, and that crossing is the source of its financial advantage. Because the town is a major logistics hub, it houses significant regional fuel storage facilities, which helps keep local gasoline and energy prices consistently below the state average. The overall cost of living runs 18% to 19% below the national average. Median home prices come in around $215,000. One-bedroom rentals average approximately $800 per month. The county maintains a 74-acre sports complex with free tennis courts and paved walking trails. The downtown Saturday Farmers Market operates year-round. Those aren't incidental amenities for retirees building an active daily routine on a modest income. Free public recreation infrastructure is what makes a budget genuinely livable. Its deep northern interior location provides storm protection. Tropical systems lose much of their intensity before reaching Lake City, which translates into lower property insurance costs year after year. HCA Florida. Lake City Hospital anchors medical services with 24-hour emergency care, intensive care, and advanced cardiac programs. 20 towns, 10 of which we explored today, offer home prices ranging from $95,000 in Cross City to just over $314,000. For retirees carefully reviewing their budgets, including monthly maintenance costs, insurance expenses, health care, and what Social Security actually covers, these towns provide an excellent starting point. Hidden rural Florida, affordable towns retirees are choosing in 2026. These were the first 10 towns, while the second and even more exciting part highlights Florida's remaining 10 hidden retirement gems.